Hello and welcome to the Insights and Motivation YouTube podcast. Yes, this is an AI-generated content, but remember, there was a human at the beginning of it, creating and curating this material with care and purpose. I request you, dear listener, to step aside from any bias and listen to the message itself. Take the message, not the messenger. That is the key. The same is true for the rest of the playlists and podcasts on this channel, each designed to inspire thought, dialogue, and transformation. Now let me begin the podcast. Food and culinary practices, culture-preserving applications of democratic principles. Food is more than sustenance. It is identity, memory, geography, and diplomacy served on a plate. Every culture encodes its story through cuisine. Spices, cooking methods, communal meals, rituals of fasting or feasting, and etiquette of sharing. In a democratic classroom, food becomes a medium of equity, inclusion, and cultural dialogue while ensuring that no tradition is suppressed or mocked. 1. Equality and inclusivity in schools. Why food matters. Discrimination often creeps in through food. Mocking of smells, dietary taboos, or labeling one cuisine as normal and others as strange. Cultural lenses, examples. India. Vegetarianism, fasting traditions, and Ayurvedic cooking principles alongside meat-based cuisines. Middle East, halal, communal feasts, and coffee tea rituals. Europe, bread, cheese, and wine-centered traditions. East Asia, rice-centered cuisines, chopsticks etiquette versus spoon-fork. Africa, shared bowls, millet porridge, plantain stews. Indigenous communities, seasonal food linked to land stewardship. Practical cultivation, food equity charter, no mocking, no exclusion, no shaming based on food. Rotating kitchen days, highlight cuisines of all student communities. Inclusive dining halls, label vegetarian, vegan, halal, kosher, allergy-safe, and fasting-friendly options. Curriculum parity, teach Ayurvedic cooking science alongside global nutrition. Discuss how different climates shape diets. Data, monitor meal participation to ensure minority groups are not excluded. 2. Freedom and rights. Why food matters. Freedom of choice must extend to what students eat, decline, or fast from. Cultural lenses. Students fasting during Ramadan or Navratri need accommodations. Children from vegetarian or vegan families often pressured to fit in. Religious dress or utensils tied to eating, e.g. kirpan used in ceremonial cooking, wooden bowls. Practical cultivation. Policy. Freedom to eat or abstain with respectful accommodations. Safety. Quiet, dignified spaces for students fasting or avoiding cafeterias. Pedagogy, creative food projects, recipe books, cooking videos, food history timelines. Respect, teach opt out with dignity. No pressure to try foods against belief. 3. Rule of law and accountability. Why food matters. Rules must prevent exclusion and ensure fairness in how food is distributed and respected. Practical cultivation. Plain language cafeteria policy, clear allergy warnings, dietary categories, waste rules. Due process, complaints about food discrimination handled formally. Fair application, teachers must also respect fasting and dietary needs. Audit, regular check that menus reflect community diversity. Hack 4, participation and representation. Why food matters. If only mainstream dishes are served, representation is superficial. Practical cultivation. Food councils, student groups help design cafeteria menus. Festival feasts, rotate cuisines linked to seasonal and religious festivals. Recipe projects, students document family recipes, compile a school cookbook of cultures. Representation, every culture group gets a chance to present their food stories. 5. Transparency and truthfulness. Why food matters. Students trust cafeterias and events when food policies are open and honest. Practical cultivation, ingredient transparency, publish menus with full ingredient lists. Budget openness, show how catering or festival food budgets are allocated. Truth workshops, teach how colonialism reshaped food, e.g. potato, tomato, and chili becoming staples in India. Science plus culture, explain nutrition alongside cultural symbolism of food, e.g. rice in Asia as life, bread in Europe as sacred, milk in Vedic tradition as purity. 6. Deliberation and dialogue. Why food matters. Food is dialogue embodied. Eating together is a practice of peace. Practical cultivation, communal dining circles, mixed seating where everyone shares. Dialogue rituals, before meals, a student explains the origin of the dish. Story exchanges, families invited to share meal memories in oral storytelling. Respectful debate, students compare how fasting, feasting, or hospitality works across traditions. 7. Checks, balances, and power sharing. Why food matters. Food often encodes hierarchy: who serves, who eats first, whose cuisine dominates. Practical cultivation, rotating roles. Servers, cooks, or presenters rotate across genders and communities. Feedback loops, surveys on fairness of cafeteria menus, publish results. Peer review, student committees evaluate whether food practices are equitable. Equity map, track which cuisines appear most often, balance representation. 8. Civic education and awareness. Why food matters. Food connects to sustainability, governance, and social justice. Practical cultivation, mock budgeting. Students allocate funds for food festivals with equity criteria. Sustainability projects, gardens, composting, farm-to-school initiatives. Service projects, food drives linked to cultural festivals, e.g. Annadana in India, Zakat in Islam, church food banks. Food diplomacy, explore how cuisines are cultural ambassadors, Indian spices, Japanese sushi, Italian pasta, Ethiopian coffee. Hashtag 9. Social justice and equity. Why food matters. Colonization, migration, and globalization often disrupted traditional diets. Democratic schools restored dignity to suppressed foodways. Practical cultivation, revival programs, cooking workshops on tribal, indigenous, or forgotten recipes. Equity kitchens, spotlight marginalized communities' cuisines. Accessibility, provide sensory-friendly food options for neurodiverse students. Compensation, pay culture bearers, grandmothers, chefs, farmers who teach cooking sessions. Curriculum audit, ensure textbooks include food histories of all communities, not just elite ones. Tomorrow morning micro practices. Start class with a spice of the day. One student explains a spice's origin and use. Rotate snacks. Each week, one cultural group provides school-approved dish samples. Use QR codes in cafeterias linking to recipe origins. Create a food wall with photos of student meals at home. Celebrate one International Food Day monthly. Minimal policy kit. 1. Food equity charter. No mocking, all diets respected. 2. Transparent menu policy. Ingredients, allergens, traditions. 3. Festival food inclusion policy. 4. Respectful fasting and abstention policy. 5. Annual food culture audit. Assessment and accountability. Percent of cuisines represented per year. Number of students reporting dignity in food choices. Budget share allocated to diverse food traditions. Reduction in food-related bullying incidents. Growth and revival of suppressed indigenous cuisines. Culture-specific examples. India, Vedic roots. Teach the science of Ayurvedic cooking. Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic foods, alongside regional thalis, millets, and spices. Ritual practices like Annadana, sacred food sharing, highlight the democratic principle of feeding all without distinction. Celebrate harvest festivals, Pongal, Makar Sankranti, Baisakhi, as lessons in community abundance. Japan, bento culture, tea ceremony, seasonal food aesthetics. Middle East, Ramadan iftar meals, meze traditions, Arabic coffee rituals. Africa, shared bowls, injera with wat, plantain-based feasts. Latin America, tamales, quinoa, maize traditions, Day of the Dead food altars. Europe, bread-breaking rituals, cheese and wine heritage, Mediterranean diet. Indigenous North America, corn, beans, squash, the Three Sisters, salmon feasts. Global deaf culture, food accessibility, visual labels, texture-based sharing, sign language names for dishes. Did this podcast resonate with you? Are you an educator or a higher authority with the ability to influence educational policy and reform? If so, I encourage you to share this podcast as widely as possible within your connections, and do share and subscribe to this channel. This channel has lots of playlists and educational psychological content with a focus on how to improve all systems of education, corporate culture, and many such topics. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for our next podcast.